started. I'll take 5 minutes just on titles and protocols alone. So I greet you all in your respective capacities and in your offices. As mentioned, my name is Akiten Isabella, and I work with the Green Light Movement that basically pursues better programs and policies around employment in this country, considering the rate at which it stands, which is very alarming. Currently, the latest report says 61%, a report 1 year ago said 83%, but because we haven't had a census, I'm not so sure about the statistics. But we can wait for next year as we have the census, and then we can have better statistics on the unemployment rate in this country. But going forward, today's event is about you, the young people. It's about you and me, and it's about the space that we exist in. Without a doubt, civic activism is growing in this country, but the question is, does government provide you enough space? Does civil society provide you enough information even as you go out to enjoy your rights? Because at the end of the day, both of them have a role to play. Government upholds the Constitution, and the Constitution says you have a right to do this, this, and this. Civil society, on the other hand, mobilizes us, but even as they mobilize us, do they mobilize us with the right information? Do they mobilize us in the right space? Do they mobilize us for activities that actually are in line with constitutional provisions in this country? So, whereas I stand here as civil society, I know that there have been loopholes on both sides. Today is not about pointing fingers, but today is about a point of information from government and civil society on how far we can comfortably engage as young people within this growing state of activism in this country. So even as you get up to provide your contributions to this debate, keep that in mind, that you're not bashing, because 3/4 of you have not read the documents you're going to be quoting. So let it be a point of information, not an assumption on what you have read on social media, not an assumption on what media has said, not an assumption on a report that emerged somewhere. If you're to go with a report, make sure you're going with the right information, lest you get embarrassed, okay? And as I conclude, I'll read something from Eleanor Roosevelt, who was our first lady in the United States. And she said, where after all do human rights begin? In small places, close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any map of the world. Yet they are the world of the individual person, the neighborhood he lives in, the school or college he attends, the factory, farm, or office where he works. Such are the places where every man, woman, and child seeks justice, equal opportunity, equal dignity, without discrimination. Unless these rights have meaning, they have little meaning anywhere. Without concerted civic action to uphold them close to home, we shall look in vain for progress in the larger world. So even as we look forward to meaningfully engage within our constitutional provisions, let us do it without causing harm to the neighbor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Isabella. I forgot to mention two things. We didn't fail to sing the national anthem. We're just not good singers, so we should be comfortable. We're not doing as bad as I saw at some celebration recently, but that's an aside. And I forgot to say we have a wonderful team of the Parliament's public relations. Just in case we lose the commissioner and the clerk to Parliament along the discussion, you should take our appreciation to them, because they were there to help right from the gate until we got in here, and they've been continuing to help. So Sisi? Finally.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
Can someone help us with the microphone? They seem to be going on.
Okay. I'm just going to make my brief one. Our being in Parliament today is not by accident. Being in Parliament at such a time as this to discuss issues of civil liberties that are affecting our country is something that we should take to be very significant and very symbolic. But we're also aware that, throughout history, various events have been triggered off by debates in Parliament. We're all aware, when you look at the Scrum and Partition of Africa, it started in the Bundestag in Germany. And then the recent shutdown of the US government, where did it start from? opposition to have avoided the situation? Yes, because the same people were able to turn around and the situation was changed. However, by then, the damage has already been done and history was already written. So we need to appreciate the fact that each and every single parliament in the world can never be taken for granted. Because every decision that they make does contribute to the history of a particular country. 5, 10, 15 years down the road.